The mayor's office is soon taking over control of all city anti-gang programs and plans to increase spending on gang prevention and intervention. Tonight, Chris Blatchford with the Fox 11 News investigation of how some of that money has gone to the gangsters themselves.
Steve Myrick, also known as PJ Steve, is a PJ Crip gangster from Watts, a druggie, an armed robber, a rapist, and in recent times, he says, a gang interventionist working on projects for City Councilwoman Janice Hahn. In October of 2004, Hahn presented PJ Steve with this certificate of appreciation for his work with a summer job program. A week later, LAPD officers arrested him for indecent exposure after PJ Steve bared his buttocks in front of a crowd, shouted vulgarities, and told cops to kiss his ass as they served a search warrant here at the Imperial Gardens housing project. During the following year, 3 times he violated a court stay-away order banning him from the projects. In February of 2006, he was caught there with an open bottle of liquor and baggies of marijuana. He says Hahn helped him get out of jail.
That's why I'm out right now. Hahn got me out like 3 weeks ago.
PJ Steve was released on his own recognizance, despite his refusal to stay away from the projects.
I ain't supposed to be over there, you know? But she sent me over there to do some work. She got me out, so it was cool.
In this interview with Fox 11 News, Hahn and her chief of staff were not all that cool when asked about PJ Steve.
You spoke on his behalf several times.
No, I meant
the Hawthorne Police Department say you.
No.
In any event, intervention worker PJ Steve Myrick, "Trust No Bitch" tattooed on his arm, was sentenced last November to life in prison.
For 90 to life or 2 life terms.
At gunpoint, he'd threatened to kill and then raped a young woman during a home invasion robbery in June of 2000.
The evidence in this case was absolutely overwhelming.
A DNA sample taken after he mooned LAPD officers led to his conviction. During this interview with Hawthorne Police right before his arrest, he was still confident Councilwoman Hahn would give him a good character reference. She did not. And Hahn, who has kept a high profile in recent years as a politician concerned about gang violence.
I am so sad.
Here, joining community members at a vigil for a murdered teen.
Just getting off the bus from school. Was gunned down right here.
In a written statement tells Fox 11 News, any suggestion that she has made direct payments to intervention workers is blatantly false. But she makes no apologies for the use of gang members as intervention workers.
I do know that it does take a different kind of person to be able to speak the language that convinces the shooters to not retaliate. And that's what we've achieved.
You're sort of making a deal with the devil, aren't you?
You know what? I don't see it that way. I see it as keeping the peace in a community that has been plagued by violence.
A taste of violence that breaks out here at the funeral of another Grape Street Crip gang member who said he was a paid gang interventionist. The burial service, moved from Watts to Long Beach for safety reasons, was for 25-year-old Brandon Bullard, an influential shot caller known as BL. He was shot and killed in January by rival gangsters. Bullard and members of his clique have Mac 11 submachine guns tattooed on their right hand, marking them as shooters. This Crip gangster, who does not want to be identified, grew up with BL.
BL would be up shooting with these guys and tell them to go kill these guys and shoot these guys.
According to these 2006 LAPD field reports obtained by Fox 11 News, BL told cops he was getting paid as a gang intervention worker for a group supported by Janice Hahn. She spoke at his funeral.
And we call on all of you to be peacemakers.
BL's mother.
We can make a change.
Here at a news conference with other grieving parents and Councilwoman Hahn, confirms BL was getting a check from Unity One, a gang intervention project that gets city funding. Unity One's executive director refuses to comment. Bullard's mother, getting a big hug from Hahn at her son's funeral, insists he was working toward peace among fellow gang members. These LAPD field reports paint a different picture. B.L. Bullard tells police he has no idea what he was supposed to do to earn his gang intervention money. LAPD officers Chuck Garcia and Ryan Moreno, who worked as Watts gang officers for more than a decade, says BL used to joke about it.
He says, yeah, man, he goes, man, your government's paying me money to go out and try to stop gangbanging and whatever, but he goes, man, listen, I'm in it, man, I'm part of it, I'm in it, you know, I'm not going to stop.
Garcia and Moreno, who are now suing the city, say they were driven out of their jobs as gang officers for locking up gangsters like BL.
#1 worldwide on top.
A dozen gang officers tell us that gang members like Marlo Jones, a two-strike felon known as Bow Wow, were also hired on as gang intervention workers. As recently as February, Bow Wow was collecting a city-funded paycheck from the same Hahn-supported group called Unity One. But Bow Wow didn't hesitate to bark out loud about his gang affiliation in this 2006 video promoting the gang life. And when Bow Wow was arrested in February for violating a gang injunction, he listed gang intervention as his occupation. Officers who work the beat say he's not alone.
They've told me that they get money from Janice Hahn. Most of them laugh about it. They're like, hey, it's just free money.
Grape Street Crip DeMarco Chaffold, a convicted bank robber known as DC, is quoted in this 2006 LAPD field report telling officers that he made his living as a gang intervention agent sponsored by Janice Hahn. As part of his job, gang cops say he took his homies on this field trip to Raging Waters. Hahn won't answer questions about Chaffold. But when asked repeatedly about the use of convicted criminals as gang intervention workers, she makes no apologies.
But I think you're saying some of these people have been a part of the problem in the past. Well, I'm here to say they're a part of the solution now, and I think that's positive.
But others think it's a negative. A growing chorus of gang intervention specialists, prosecutors, and cops.
Is Janice Hahn, is she being used by gang members?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
She definitely is.
But unlike Garcia and Moreno, others are not willing to jeopardize their jobs by going on camera.
Where we are today is in a disgrace.
However, these criticisms are at the center of a heated debate right now.
To how we can fix things.
And where to put the money for gang intervention.
This problem is way beyond the variables of control.
With city leaders scrutinizing all of these programs,
We have no measures to hold them accountable.
the ones supported by Hahn and others. But one veteran gang cop talking about the gang intervention workers in this story tells us they are all active gang members surrounded by killers, defrauding Janice Hahn's office and wasting the taxpayers' money. In Watts, Chris Blatchford, Fox 11 News.